Hey y'all, it is Tasha. We are back with another video. Thank you so much for stopping into my channel. Y'all can see from the title what we are here to talk about. Can you believe Married at First Sight is back already? Oh my God. Season 13, episode 1. But before we jump into our new couples, have y'all heard about some of our old couples? Amelia, Bennett, Virginia, Eric, Claire, Ryan. Yeah, all these people who say yes on decision day now heading to divorce court. Married at First Sight. What's going on? What is going on? But anyway, let's talk about the new people, okay? So we are back with a new episode. It is in Houston. Y'all know the drill when the new episode comes. We met the couples already in the matchmaking special. So now the couples are all telling their family and friends they've been selected. We see them go shopping, and then we actually see one couple get married. Oh, and the bachelor and bachelorette parties. This episode was 3 freaking hours. I don't know why does Married at First Sight think we want to sit here and watch 3 hours? That is longer than a movie. I don't want to sit through 3-hour episodes. Granted, their commercials are long as hell, so it probably boils down to being maybe like 2.5 hours, but still, that is super long to be watching a show. OMG. We already think 2 hours is too long. 3 hours? We really needed 3 hours? No, we didn't. Anyway, y'all, let's jump right into it because this video is probably already going to be long, but I'm going to try not to make it super long, but a lot happened, so I'm going to try to discuss everything that happened in the episode. As usual, my notes are over here, so if you see me looking, that's where I am. I will also try to drop the couple pictures over here, just like we did last season, until we get used to putting the faces with the names and we know who is paired with who. Okay? All right. So this episode opens, we're 2 weeks away from the wedding, so we again see everybody telling their family and friends. First up is Milo and Gil. And we see Gil telling his friends that, you know, he's engaged. And they're like, what? Oh, my God, you're engaged, you're getting married. And it just trips me out every season that some of these family and friends act like they had no idea you had applied for the show and you were going through this process. And then for you just to pop up and say that you're getting married in 2 weeks. Like, cut out the dramatics. Y'all know that they applied for the show or they were recruited for the show. Yeah, recruited. So we know what's already happening when we come in these scenes of they want to meet with y'all and tell y'all something. They get married. So anyway, they show Gil telling them, and he said that he just hasn't found the right one, you know, because finding dates for him has not been hard because he's a firefighter, and once he says he's a firefighter, basically the ladies just fall all over him. So he says, but he is Colombian and says he wants a 90s type of love, somebody that he can trust and feel safe to talk to, as he did share with us that his father was killed in a home invasion when he was 14. So he says just experiencing that makes it really hard for him to trust strangers. And I'm like, so you go and do an experiment where you get married to a stranger? Okay, I don't know. But one of his friends says that he thinks this whole situation is a joke because Gil is so good looking and doesn't have a hard time finding a woman. And I'm like, eye roll, but here we are. Anywho, now it is Milo's turn to meet with her friends and tell them that she's getting married. They run her package. The first thing that she says is she's bougie. And again, this bougie woman you set up with a firefighter that we know firefighters don't make a ton of money. I don't know if Gil does anything else on the side, but so far they've only told us that he's a firefighter. So we'll see how that works out. She does Botox. She gets her lashes done weekly. She wears matching outfits for the gym, which, girl, me and you, we here. I like my matching outfits as well when I work out. And she just, you know, tells us that she's pretty big on self-care. And basically, you know, she's not going to stop her lifestyle or not be able to do the things she likes to do because she's getting married. So it's going to be, you know, interesting to see how this actually plays out. But she says that her family struggled growing up. So I guess, you know, that's really what she's doing now with all the things that she buys herself and how she treats herself, is basically she's kind of making up for not being able to have much as a child, that now that she's able to provide that stuff for herself as an adult, she's just, you know, all over it and she wants all the things is what I'm gathering. Her friends talk about how picky she is, and she doesn't like a man with a bald head. And I'm like, surprise, surprise, Gil has a bald head. And then they show Pastor Cal say that she said she didn't want a bald head, but then they feel like that was just her being superficial. And I just want to like kick the experts in the head of, why would you give her something that she clearly stated she did not want, when you want to then just go behind and say, oh, it's just her being superficial, she'll kind of get over it. She told you what she did not want, and that's exactly what you gave her. So then if she's pissed, it's y'all's fault. She told you. She told you. Anyway, next up is Zach, and we see him meet with his parents and his brother that tell them that he is getting married. His parents off the bat kind of looked like they was not with the shit. But, you know, once he told them, his mama kind of really got to preaching and was like, marriage is not just all about love. Because he was like, he just wants somebody to love. But she's like, it's not all about that. It is work every single day. You need to make sure you are ready for that. And I'm like, preach mama to him, okay? But his parents have been married for almost 30 years. He has a brother that is engaged. He has another brother that has been in a long-term committed relationship. So he, in a sense, feels like the all ball out and feels like, you know, he's ready to get married because of that. He shared that he's never been in love. Hello, another Ryan. And his longest relationship has only been 9 months. But again, he's only 27, so we'll see what happens. When he does tell them, his father and his brother has the best reactions. Like, I don't know if they were acting, but it was believable. And they were both like, what the hell? You getting what now? Say what now? That's what we doing. But he says that his daddy asks him, how do he know he's ready to be a husband? Because basically Zach is just like, I'm ready to be a husband. And his daddy's like, how do you know you're ready to be a husband if you've never been a husband? And at that moment, I was like, I always fall in love with my people, my black people, because we ask the silliest questions. Like, we know he don't know he ready to be a husband because he's never been a husband. Daddy, he can't answer that question. You know that. Quit being silly with this man. But his mom starts to cry, and it's really sweet because his mom is just like, I just don't want some random girl for my son. So you can really tell, of course, she loves her baby boy, and she just really wants what is best for him. So I really hope Michaela does not let us down. So we see Michaela, she's surprising her sisters with the news that she's getting married, and she's actually the baby out of 4 girls, or at least that we were shown. And she was kind of all afraid to tell them because she is the baby. But let's just say her and her sisters all look alike, and they are all stunning. Black girl magic all across the screen, okay? But she says that when she was younger, she put a lot of weight on things that she now considers to be unimportant when it comes to dating and finding a spouse. She also shares that she was homeless at one point in her life, and that her father was killed as a drunk driver. So she really seemed like she had a really close relationship with her dad, and she says she really wants that love that her father provided to her. But her sister says that she will have to make some adjustments because she wants to be a helpful mate, and that's going to be something that she has to work on. And I really hope they can do it. I think her and Zach will be the cutest couple, and neither one of them have been in love because she shared that with us as well. So I think it would be really cute if they just both fall in love for the first time with each other, and they are just so cute together. So Michaela and Zach, don't let us down, okay? So the third couple is Bao and Johnny. Johnny is first up. He meets with his friends and kind of drops the bomb that he's getting married. They're super excited for him because he's been single for about 7 years. He says that he likes girls that makes the first move, say I love you first, because that way he feels a little bit in control and that he has the upper hand. And Johnny raised a little bit of red flags with me when he said that. I'm like, what? What? So you like to feel like you have some sense of power over these women, Johnny? Is that what you telling us? In my Portia voice, wrong road, Johnny. Wrong road, okay? But he says that his parents are divorced. He was mostly raised by his aunt and uncle. His friends say that, you know, in order to have a successful marriage, he will need to learn to let go and give up some control. So this seems to be a really big issue for him. He says when they ask about his parents, he says that his mom will be present at the wedding. His dad probably not so much, because his dad is not going to agree with what he's doing, because he really, believes in the traditional dating, courting, being engaged, getting married. And basically he says that if he tells his dad is basically going to call him and talk to him every single day about what he is doing until he just decides not to do it. So at that point, we don't know what he's going to do when it comes to actually telling his dad that he is getting married in 2 weeks. So we see Bao meet up with her two brothers and her roommate to let them know that she is getting married. And when she tells them, all their faces are just kind of stoic. And I can't read here or there if they are happy for her. And then one of the brothers finally says, oh, now we can finally pawn you off onto somebody. So I was like, okay, they're actually happy for her. And they were actually really proud that she kind of just went with what she really wanted to do and outside of the tradition of their Asian culture. But she really says that she hoped that she is matched with someone that is more flexible than she is. And I'm like, I don't know if that, I don't know if that's what we have in Johnny, but we will see. It just seems like because they both have, the same Asian background, that's maybe why they were paired together. But I really hope that was not the driving force in deciding to make them a match. Ryan and Brent, they are our fourth couple. We see that Ryan is cooking dinner for his family to tell them that he's getting married. So he has his parents there and his sister there. He tells us that he's dated about 50 women in the past 3 to 4 years. But things really changed for him once he had a close friend that passed away. I believe it was last year or maybe a couple years ago. So that kind of put things in perspective for him. When he does tell his family, he says he's most nervous about telling his sister. But it's funny that when he tells them, his mom and sister has a reaction, and dad just continues to, sit over there, eat his food, and just says, Lord, Lord. Like, I don't know what to do with this boy. I just wish I had some normal kids, is what he said. And I'm like, Daddy, what is normal? Why you gonna say that in front of both your kids? Do better. And then Brett then tells her friends they are super excited for her. She shares that she has not even kissed anyone in the last 2 years. And she says she's been single because she prefers quality over quantity. And once again, I'm like, she says that, and y'all pair her with the serial dater who's probably dated everybody in Houston and the surrounding areas. Make it make sense, Married at First Sight. Make it make sense. Anyway, the last couple that we see is Rachel and Jose. And Rachel tells her mom, her friend, and her friend's dog, for whatever reason, is inside this people's establishment, that she has been matched. Her last relationship, it seems to be that it was pretty recent. She said that they were together 9 months and then they quarantined together. So they were kind of, acting like they were married. So I was like, since she said they were quarantined together, this had to be within the last year that she was in this relationship and then got out of this relationship. But that, of course, a relationship where she found out that he was unfaithful. So at that point, I didn't know when this was filmed. But then later on, we do see when Johnny does talk to his dad that he tells him he's getting married January 31st. So this was only almost just 6 months ago that they got married. But Jose is last up to tell his parents and friends. He seems very accomplished and successful in his career working for, I believe he worked for NASA. But however, I think he's a bit of a perfectionist and he thinks that as well. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to kind of get somebody on his level, because he just seemed, he was like, got my student loans paid off, got my house paid off, got a car paid off, he got all these budgets, and he just seemed to really have his stuff together, which isn't bad. But if he is kind of OCD with it, that can really have a negative effect on a spouse and really trying to get them to conform with what you do. But we'll see. They both seem like they really want to be married and want to have a spouse. So I really hope we do see success with Rachel and Jose. I'm hopeful for the two of them. All right, and then next up, we do see Johnny call his dad to tell him about the wedding, and he is nervous. He starts to cry. And then that's when we do find out that they are getting married January 31st. So, of course, like he predicted, his dad did not approve and he declined to be filmed. And Johnny starts to cry and get very emotional. I feel super bad for him at this point. But then I'm also like, Why are you so shocked? Because you already predicted this is the way he would have behaved. So I guess maybe deep down inside, Johnny hoped that he would have had a different reaction, and he still, I guess, had that little piece of hope in him. So when his dad did not have a positive reaction to it, it was kind of just another slap in the face of, I kind of knew it, but now I know for sure he is not going to be supportive of my decision. So I just hope that he can just, push through that and not let that kind of hold him back as he moves forward in this process. So we're now 10 days from the weddings, and the girls and guys get together. We realize Zach is the kid of the group. I didn't realize all the other guys are 35 years old, and Zach's the only one that's 27. And I think it was Gil was like, let's get him a sippy cup. It was so funny. They talk about their must-haves, and Gil says that he wants to make sure that she has less than 1,000 followers on IG. And ironically, Jose and Zach agree with them, and they're like, yeah, because I don't want no IG models. And I said, since when does having over 1,000 followers equate to you being an IG model? Dating in 2021, the ghetto. The ladies on their end are kind of talking about deal breakers, if they'll be kissing their spouse at the altar when the last time they, really been with somebody. So they're each having their own kind of respective conversations. The guys seem to be a little bit more lucid. The girls seem to have a little bit more deeper conversations, but it is what it is with them just kind of chatting up and getting to know each other. Next up, we see them shopping for wedding attire with all their crews. So Michaela is with her mom and her friends, and Zach with his fine stuff is with his fine brother and his friends as well. And when I see this, I'm like, men, when we ask if you got a brother similar to Omarion and his brother, Zach and his brother, that's what we talking about. We want somebody that looks similar to you, which is why we ask if you got a brother. Okay, anyway. We see Michaela try on some dresses. First dress I absolutely hate. It just had too many flowers. But the champagne colored dress that she's decided to go with is super cute. It wouldn't necessarily be something that I picked for myself, but it seemed to match her personality from what we've seen of her thus far. But it's a super sweet moment with her and her mom and her sisters at the bridal shop. Zach is getting his tux and everything fitted. He really hopes that his wife finds him attractive, and he hopes that he is good enough. Now, I don't know if Zach is putting on, or he really feels like this, or he just trying to look a certain way to, look like he don't think he fine. I don't know. We see Bao and Johnny go shopping. The first dress that Bao tries on is a no for me. She absolutely loves it. Loves it though because it has pockets. But that first dress, she was just drowning in it. She's just so petite. And I even think in the dress that she did end up choosing, it still wasn't the best for her body type. But what we've learned about her thus far, and she seems to be a little bit more on the conservative side, it seemed to be a good choice for her and still super cute. Johnny is going shopping, and he wants to go kind of bold. He's looking for a jacket that's in the red colored family, because in the Asian culture that does mean good luck. So as we can see from the picture I have over here, that's what he decided to wear in his for the wedding day. So we are now a few days from the wedding, and they have their bachelor and bachelorette party. So all the guys and the girls get together, and they look like they are ready to have, a good time. They're ready to turn up. Everybody seems like they're ready to turn up, except for Marla. I don't even know if I'm saying this child's name right. Merla, I think that's how you say it, Merla. That's what we gonna say. But she seems to be a little stuck up. Like, she like, this ain't my scene. I'm not having fun. I'm kind of just over here with my friends. Like, y'all can do whatever, but this ain't me. And I'm like, girl, have a good time and cut it out. We just supposed to be here having fun, quick judging everybody else who wants to let their hair down. Okay, so I'm just starting to side eye her just a little bit. So, but on the guy side, they got their cowboy hats on. We just see them just having a good old time, especially Gil. He is just living it all the way up. And I'm like, your wife on the other side over here just being a party pooper. So I hope you're ready to either get her out of her shell or just ready to turn up by yourself. One or the other. Then we see Bao. She rides a mechanical bull, which I was not expecting from her. I was like, okay, Bao, but that's something I want to do too that I have not done. But she just might be a little undercover bad girl. We just don't know it yet. And then we see their friends kind of grilling them with questions. On the girls' side, Johnny and Jose on the other side, making it rain on the dancers as we seeing. And Jose lets us know that he's written down over 200 questions to be ready to ask his spouse so he can find out everything he needs to know. A little bit too much. That might be a little bit overkill, Jose. Just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe she'll like it. I don't know. But Michaela and Bo, they are like having a good time. And I am all the way here for it, especially Michaela. She is all the way turned. She's all the way turned up, okay? And I absolutely love it. She says, you know, if he fine, the vibe is clicking, I am not opposed to smashing on the first night. And I said, girl, once you see Zach, you're going to be smashing on the first night. All right, so now we see Johnny video chatting with one of his friends, and he is super nervous because they're only one day away at the from the wedding at this point. Johnny then comes back around and says he likes like these stage 5 clingers. So as far as women, he likes women just to be very clingy on him, which is kind of the second time we are hearing about him really liking, you know, women to make the first move, say I love you first and all this stuff. And as we get more insight, it seems to be as a result of his childhood, of him really not getting a whole lot of affection and hugs and kisses and I love yous when he was a child, that now he's kind of making up for that on the dating side of things, where he feels like he wants to probably get all of that now poured into him, and not feel like he's pouring it to somebody else and not receiving it back. So it's kind of, you know, hit me before I hit you type of thing. So I need him to work on that, because that ain't healthy. But I also don't see that in Bao, of he wants to feel like he is needed, and Bao wants you, but she doesn't need you. Okay? You get what I'm putting down? All right. So we see that actually Bao and Johnny, they are the first couple to get married. So Bao FaceTimes her friends. Her friend tells her, you know, to relax, get the stick out your ass, get ready to get married. Her mom tells her to take it slow and essentially to be open to meeting and getting to know the guy. We see them both get all ready with their friends and family, and Bao ends up looking really beautiful with her dress, her hair, her makeup. Everything just came together really, really well. And Johnny is looking quite dapper, if I may say so myself, in his little deep red velvet jacket that he got on. I said, okay. Then we see them exchange gifts. The producers come in and drop it off. So Johnny gets his gift from Bao, which is a cute little survival kit, you know, with a little letter. And then he has some socks, candy, and some liquor, I believe. When Bao gets his gifts, he has a letter. A card, and it has this long letter in it. She's like, oh, shoot, I didn't write this much. But in his letter, he starts talking about a jersey, and she's like, oh, God, I hope he's not a sports fan. She opens both of the gifts, because there were two, and they were two jerseys. The letter had something about opposing teams, so I guess they were two different jerseys. They blurred them out, so I didn't know what the jerseys were. But maybe it was like Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. But it got her all in her feelings. She started getting really upset of like, oh my God, I have not had good luck with people who, you know, just are all in the sports. I asked for a nerd. I wanted somebody smart. I just wanted a brilliant mind. And I'm just like, so Bao, you think somebody that's smart can't like sports? I'm confused here. You can do both, you know, but you can do both. But it really bothered her. And I'm just like, Bao, at this point, this show was 3 hours long. I am 20 minutes from the end, and I am not with the shit that you pulling, okay? Because she was sitting there debating as if she was really going to go through with this. And she was just so disappointed. And I'm just like, girl, if you freaking out this much over the gifts, which were some jerseys, what you gonna do when y'all have real issues in a marriage? I'm concerned. I am concerned that, girl, because she really spazzed out for a bit. Anyway, we see Johnny walking down. He looks like he is about to pass out as he's waiting for her at the altar. She starts to walk and come down. And the minute they lock eyes, they realize we know each other. Oh my God. But we don't know in what capacity yet at that point. But she's really having a hard time looking at him in the eyes in the beginning. And then he just says, I haven't seen you in a long time. So I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't somebody that she had on her long list of men that she did not want to be picked for her. But again, at the wedding, we don't know at this point in what capacity, but they stand there, they hear what their family and friends have to say about them. As they hear those, they begin to relax a little bit more, and both of them are kind of able to look at each other a little bit better. They read their vows to one another, and Johnny, you was on it. His vows were so sweet. He was definitely on it. And then Bao, she wrote her vows in a poem, which she had memorized most of it, which was pretty impressive. They exchange rings, and then they actually kiss, which was so cute. But I really hope that Bao turns things around and she just don't overreact to this extent with every little thing that's going to happen with them, because she made me so mad. But I was so happy, at least with this first episode, we got one wedding out the way, and next week we better get all the other 4 out the way. We wrap up the episode with them taking pictures, and then Johnny actually telling us how they crossed paths, which they were both presidents of some type of organization at their respective schools, and they had some interaction that way. So it doesn't seem the fact that they knew each other was a bad thing, and they didn't have some sort of relationship that went bad in the sense of knowing each other. But Bows tells us that in college, Johnny had a reputation of being like a ladies' man because he had a way with words. And I was like, we saw that in the vows. He didn't play around when it came to letting you know what he was putting down in them vows. So I could see exactly what she was saying. But he just seemed very uptight when we first met him, like the matchmaking episode and even earlier in the episode. But as the episode went on, he loosened up a lot. He became very funny. Like, it was just so funny as they were taking pictures at one point. I think he said something like smack me in the ass or something. But it was so funny that you really wouldn't kind of expect from somebody like him. So I hope they end up working out and being a really cute couple, but we'll see as time goes on. They already did agree on one thing, because he asked her about doing a tea ceremony, because that's something that's customary in the Asian culture, and she says that she insisted on having a tea ceremony. So they were all on the same page, and it looks like next week they actually end up changing clothes, and I guess maybe having some sort of Asian piece of the ceremony going on. I don't know. We'll see that next week. But let me know what y'all think of this first episode. My initial thoughts is I almost thought they should have matched Mirla with Jose or Ryan. They should have matched Brent with Gil, and then maybe Bao with Ryan. I don't know, just based on personalities and kind of what they wanted, I just feel like some of those may have worked a little bit better, but I'm no expert. But then again, the experts don't have a good track record either. So let me know what you think. Did y'all sit through this whole episode? If not, I hope that my review has, bought you some hours that you don't have to sit through it, because I've done it for you. Please leave your comments below, thumbs up the video, and hit that subscribe button or your way out.